Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Space Monkey Mafia here, and today is Spooky Sunday, so we're gonna do a little something from our No Sleep. The background is my goldfish tank. My biggest goldfish in there is about 9 inches long, and I got her from a county fair a while back. Put her in a bowl at first, and that's a bad idea, kids. Don't do that. So let's get started. I got this one from Rabbit's Man. This person has a lot of really good stories, so I would say check them out if you're into this kind of thing. The title of this is, I released a game a while ago. Something strange happened to it. You are going to ask what my game was. I'm not going to answer. I started making my own simple games about 7 years ago, on the hope that one of them would be mildly successful and allow me to quit my 9 to 5. Obviously, that never happened, but soon designing games became an important part of my daily routine. The 2 to 3 hours I spent on the evenings laying down code or building levels were cathartic, and they helped me sleep at night. I wasn't successful, but I was happy. Then came Mortimer. No, it's not its real name, don't bother looking for it. This is going to sound weird, but I don't remember most of my work on Mortimer. It was one of those find the pages walking simulators with a couple of jump scares and a ton of story thrown all over it to keep things interesting. I don't want to talk too much about the plot to avoid you finding the game, but I can tell you that there were no NPCs. This wasn't so much a design choice as it was a necessity, as I didn't want to record any voiceovers for this one, but it became something integral to the plot. So I downloaded some generic looking assets that I found cool, some copyright-free ambient music, and I started putting it all together in Unity. I was expecting the whole thing to take 2 to 3 months, as I had done some similar games already and there was nothing challenging in it. 3 days later, the game was completed. I have almost no memory of those 3 days. I must have eaten and slept, but I sure didn't go to work or called or replied to any of my friends or family. Everybody was worried for me, except for my boss who was angry as heck. I managed to make up for it with extra shifts and reassured my social circle that I was fine, but I was concerned. I'd experienced bursts of creativity before, but they had never lasted more than a bunch of hours at most. This one seemed dangerous to me, and yet, Mortimer was done, and, as I beta tested it myself, looked mostly bug-free and fun. I released the game a week later, and it was my biggest hit until then. The reviews were very positive. My loyal fan base, around 20 to 30 people, were quick to sell this as my masterpiece, and for a while it seemed that maybe, just maybe, I had struck that particular nerve that would make me rich. There were even 2 people playing it on Twitch! Their combined audience was about 30 people, which might seem small to you, but for a bit there I felt like a superstar. 1 week later, the hype had died. This was a short, story-driven game that could be completed in a 2-3 hour session, so most people played it and moved on. I was happy with the result. It wouldn't help me quit my day job, but it had given me a huge boost of confidence. It wasn't until a few months later that I noticed something strange. I had included simple achievements for unlocking the story, and while 97% of players had gotten the second to last achievement, no one had gotten the final one. This meant that people had played the game right until the last scene and then stopped. I found that weird, and I browsed through the comments to see if there was anything that might hint at people getting frustrated with the game, but if there was, I couldn't find it. After a bit of digging, I watched a VOD of one of the streamers. The guy played through the game, giving some very positive feedback all along. When he got to the last house, he casually mentioned that he felt tired and that he would finish the game the following day. It was perfectly normal, nothing out of the ordinary, except that according to his VODs and my data, he never went back. The scene in my script was super simple. Go in the house, see a table in the middle of the hallway, find a note on it, read it, fade to black, credits. Less than 5 minutes of gameplay, but he had never gone back to the game, despite how interested he had seemed. I found it weird. I played through those scenes a couple of times. Pre-final scene, final scene, the transition between the two. The 3 scenes were working, and nothing hinted at what was going on. Later, 9 to 5 and other life stuff happened, and I kind of forgot about it. I marked it down as a weird coincidence, a glitch in reality. Then one day, I woke up and looked at the data. In the span of 1 day, every single person who had completed all achievements but one had gotten the last achievement. I quickly went to Twitch and found the streamer. I looked at his automatically generated VODs, and indeed, there was a 10-minute video from the previous day, with my game's miniature below it. He had played it and completed it. I clicked the video and was welcomed by a black screen. I watched the first 9 minutes of it, and it was just blackness. No video, no sound, nothing. Then, suddenly at the corner of the screen, something came up. It was a Steam notification. They had just unlocked the last achievement. I watched with a growing sense of unease as the last minute of darkness and no sound continued. At this point, I was feeling like I could make up something in the darkness, a sort of face looking at me. I shrugged it off. Certainly, it had to be my mind filling in the lack of anything specific with patterns that weren't really there, and yet, the afterimage of the notification taunted me. I went back to the game and replayed the last scene. Nothing. Then I loaded the previous one, played that and the last scene back to back. Nothing. Then it dawned on me. I had never played my game from start to finish. To save time while testing, I played the individual scenes directly, but I'd never actually launched the game with a clean save and simply played through it. Something compelled me to do it. I ran through the whole thing once, trying to keep an open mind. I knew where all the puzzle pieces were, but I tried to roam around, thinking about how a normal player would have experienced my game. 3 hours later, I was in front of the last door, and then I realized I hadn't eaten and was starving. I saved, made some lunch, and sat back in front of my computer. Before I launched the game, I checked Twitch again, and saw that the 10-minute darkness video was the last video on the guy's channel, so I went to Twitch to see if by any chance he had said anything about it. What I found instead was a note. Dear friends, I'm very sorry to inform you that Redacted was found dead in his room yesterday. His family and friends are shocked at his sudden departure. I stood there for a good 20 minutes, my lunch growing cold. I felt a strong sensation of guilt. The timeline was perfect, but it wasn't possible. Was his death related to my game? How could it be? I quickly jumped into the reviews and checked the profiles of everyone that had commented on my game. 20 or so people. I checked, one after another. Not a single one of them had any activity on their account after earning that last achievement. Then I realized something. I had stopped playing at the same point that the streamer had. It had felt natural. The hunger was there. Checking the stream after getting lunch also seemed natural, but I could see what was happening now. The game didn't want me to play it. Not yet. I tried to will myself to open it, to do those last 5 minutes. It didn't happen. Something was stopping me from pressing the button. The more I tried, the more other things suddenly felt urgent. I had to do the dishes, I had to do the laundry, I had to finish a level in this other game I was making. Just like an itch that you cannot scratch, the pain was becoming more and more acute by my knowledge that it was happening. And then, just like an itch that you cannot scratch, I started thinking less and less about it. Slowly, step by step, the game dropped off of my mind and I didn't even notice. Why am I writing this then? Here's the timeline. I released this game on summer of 2017. People played it that week and forgot about it for half a year. Then, on January 7th, 2018, everyone got that final achievement. I played the game the following day, January 8th, and then forgot about it. Today, I remembered that I hadn't opened that last door, and I suddenly felt a pang of curiosity. What will be waiting for me on that other side? I'll find out in 5 minutes. And then this person is genius in how they continued the story. They continued the rest of the story in the comments below, which is really cool. I haven't seen that done before. I've been procrastinating a bit because I've been considering if I should at least write down what I found. I think it's a good idea to at least drop a few comments detailing what I find. I've launched the game, and I am staring at the door of the final house. Everything is super normal. The UI is telling me what button to press. The correct song is playing. Here goes nothing. I've opened the door. The entryway is just like I remember, dark and gloomy, but it's completely empty. To my left, there's a door to a kitchen that I know is empty, and to the front, there's a hallway that ends up in 2 doors to an empty bedrooms and some stairs going up. The table with the final note is right next to the stairs. I've checked the kitchen. It's empty as expected, going to the hallway. Wait, who is that? Oh my god, he's talking. He's talking to me. Oh. I see. And that's the whole story. Honestly, it's really well written. I really enjoyed reading this the first time, and I'm definitely going to read some more of this guy's stories. Link is in the description below. If you like this story, subscribe for more. I do daily Reddit content. Every Sunday, we're going to be doing some little spooky stories, and if I feel like it, we might be doing some more throughout the week, because these are really fun to do. So again, this was Space Monkey Mafia. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.